Across the country, teachers are in demand, and the state of Nebraska has introduced a new program to help get more teachers into the classroom.
KTIV's Connor Trett tells us about the Nebraska Department of Education's Teacher Apprenticeship Program.
I love to be around children, especially kindergarten, and that's what motivated me to do this.
For 15 out of her more than 20 years in education, Cecilia Alvarez has worked as a paraprofessional working with kindergartners at Harney Elementary School in South Sioux City, Nebraska. But she's had aspirations to become a teacher. In 2023, the Nebraska Department of Education launched their Teacher Apprenticeship Program, which was geared towards helping paraprofessionals who are already serving in school districts across the state earn their teaching degrees at no extra cost to help address the need for teachers in the state of Nebraska.
The legislature here in Nebraska appropriated about $1 million and established the Nebraska Teacher Apprenticeship Program. It's really an attempt to address the educator shortage here in Nebraska, which is similar to the educator shortage nationally that the world of education has been facing.
The program is a 2-year degree program, and one of the special features of the program is we work in partnership with the school districts to ensure that there's a structured mentoring program and that these paraprofessionals are partnered with a mentor teacher throughout the whole program.
The money given to the program is helping paraprofessionals like Alvarez earn their teaching degrees. Alvarez says through her time at the school, she's thought of taking the next steps of becoming a full-time teacher, but the cost of going back to school was a roadblock.
It's difficult to be working and then be doing that and worrying about all those expenses. But now that this opportunity came across, no cost as tuitions, any other fees, books, everything is provided to us. And then we have the opportunity to be at the school with pay.
To work every day in the classroom, but then take on additional debt, that's quite a struggle. And we want to set our future teachers up for success so that they don't have to worry about those financial stressors.
In just over 2 years in operation, the Teacher Apprenticeship Program has helped nearly 200 people enter into the workforce with their teaching degree. For Alvarez, she says she wants to pursue a career as a kindergarten teacher once she graduates.
I feel very blessed to be able to take this role, and then I hope that I can obtain my degree.
Connor Trett, KTIV News 4.
In addition to the $1 million that the state chips in every year, the state secured a $4 million grant from the U.S. Department of Labor. That money will be used through 2027 to help expand the program.